Jefferson County Court at Law number 2 is back in session. The court is in session with 2 cases. First case is cause number 333-536. Second case is cause number 333-540. Both cases are style of State of Texas versus Naya Michelle Miller. Ms. Miller, is that your full name?
Yes.
Ms. Miller, would you please raise your right hand? Ms. Miller, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Ms. Miller, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Ms. Miller? How are you doing, Ms. Miller?
I'm okay.
That's good. Now, Ms. Miller, you're represented in this case by your attorney, Ryan Matuska, who's appearing also via Zoom. Mr. Matuska, do you waive a record in Ms. Miller's cases?
Okay.
I do. Hang on. Go ahead, Ms. Miller.
Okay, do you waive a record in Ms. Miller's cases, Mr. Matuska?
Yes, sir, Your Honor.
Okay, now, Ms. Miller, in cause number 333-536, I have before me an information that was filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. In this information, it alleges that you, Naya Michelle Miller, on or about October 2nd of 2022, committed the Class A misdemeanor offense of evading arrest, detention. Ms. Miller, do you understand what you have been charged with?
Yes.
And to this charge, Ms. Miller, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
Now, Ms. Miller, are you pleading no contest freely and voluntarily?
Yes, I am.
And are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest the charges?
Say that again.
Are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest the charges?
Yes.
Ms. Miller, I also have before me a document that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishment. Do you recognize this document?
Yes.
On page 2 of this same document, there are a set of initials NM on a line next to a box that says check nola contendere, which means no contest. Did you place your initials NM on this document?
Yes.
On page 3 of this same document, there is a signature above the line that is titled defendant. The signature is Naya Miller. Ms. Miller, did you also place your signature on this document?
Yes, I did.
On the next document, Ms. Miller, that's titled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal, do you recognize this document?
Yes, I do.
At the bottom of this document, there's a signature. Did you also sign this document above the line that is titled Defendant?
Yes, I did.
At the top of this same document, there are 2 boxes that are checked. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, I do.
The second box that's checked states that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, I do.
Ms. Miller, did you sign a document out there on paper that is titled Discovery Certification?
Yes, I did.
Ms. Miller, before you sign and initialed all of these documents that I have just shown you,
Yes.
or actually all of these documents that I've just mentioned, did your attorney go over these documents with you?
Yes, he did.
And did you read and understand everything that he went over?
Yes, I did.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Miller, are you a citizen of the United States?
Yes, I am.
State, I have before me State's Exhibit number 1. State, would you like to offer State's Exhibit number 1?
Yes, Your Honor. State offer States 1.
Mr. Matuska, do you have any objections?
No objections, Your Honor.
No objections. State's Exhibit number 1. Also, is admitted. Now, state, I also have state's exhibit number 2. You like to offer state's 2?
The state offers stage 2 as well, Your Honor.
Probable cause affidavit. And Mr. Matuska, you have any objection to state's exhibits 2?
No objection, Your Honor.
No objection. State's exhibits 1 and 2 are admitted. Mr. Matuska, you have advised and counseled Ms. Miller. Is there any evidence that she is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No evidence, Your Honor.
Ms. Miller, your attorney, Mr. Matuska, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation? Ms. Miller, your attorney, Mr. Matuska, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Okay. I'm hearing part of what you're saying, not everything.
Okay, let me,
I'm gonna
okay,
move closer to the speaker.
okay, Miss Miller, your attorney, Mr. Matuska, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Oh, yes, yes,
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
yes,
Ms. Miller, I will accept your plea of no contest. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given, and I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
We do, Your Honor.
And what is that agreement?
Your Honor, in exchange for defendant's plea of no contest in this case, the state is recommending confinement in a Jefferson County jail for a period of 8 days, Your Honor. We're asking that the court give defendant credit for the 8 days she's previously spent in jail, making this a time-served plea agreement, Your Honor. We're asking that the court use the time served to both tax and retire the court costs. And lastly, Your Honor, in conjunction with this plea agreement, the state has moved to dismiss companion case number 333540.
Okay. Ms. Miller, the state is offering that you serve 8 days in the Jefferson County Jail. However, you will not have to serve any more time in the Jefferson County Jail on this case because you have already served 8 days in the Jefferson County Jail.
okay,
The court cost in this case, Ms. Miller, is $327. But you would not have to pay the $327 court cost because the time that you have spent in jail has already paid it off. Therefore, the court costs will be taxed and retired. And the state will be dismissing cause number 333540, the companion case in this, the companion case in this, on this docket. Now, Ms. Miller, do you understand the state's offer?
yes,
Do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
yes,
And do you accept the state's offer?
yes,
Okay, Ms. Miller, I'll follow the plea bargain agreement that you have entered into with the state. Ms. Miller, if you do not have anything else holding you in jail, you should be getting out of jail today. Please knock on the door, follow the bailiff, and you have a blessed day.
all right, thank you.
All right, you're welcome. And Mr. Matuska, I noticed that you was drinking something. Please be mindful that we're in court, and so do not drink anything. Okay. Next case. Eldon Nichols.
Nichols, come on, Knuckles,
Eldon Nichols.
Knuckles, come on.
Knuckles.
Go stand at the door.
Jefferson County Court at Law number 2 is back in session. Court is in session in cause number 333664. Case is styled the state of Texas versus Eldon J. Knuckles. Mr. Knuckles, is that your full name?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Knuckles, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Knuckles, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Knuckles, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Mr. Knuckles?
Good.
That's good. Now, Mr. Knuckles, you're represented in this case by your attorney, Attorney Ryan Matuska. Attorney Matuska, do you waive a record in Mr. Knuckles' case?
Sir,
I was talking to
Yes,
Mr.
sir, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Knuckles, I have before me a document that is titled information. This information was filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. In this information, it alleges that you, Eldon J. Knuckles, on or about October 30th of 2022, committed the Class B misdemeanor offense of criminal trespassing. Mr. Knuckles, do you understand what you've been charged with?
criminal trespassing,
Yeah, and to this charge, Mr. Knuckles, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
guilty.
Now, are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
And are you pleading guilty because you are guilty?
Yeah, I'm guilty, but was this, it's okay, I'm guilty.
Okay, now, Mr. Knuckles, I also have before me a document that is titled misdemeanor plea admonishment. Do you recognize this document?
From yesterday evening,
What did you say?
from last night,
Yes.
yeah, I can barely see it, but yeah, I recognize.
Okay. Now, Mr. Knuckles, on page 2 of this same document, there are a set of initials EN that are on a line next to a box that said guilty. Did you place your initials on this document?
Yes, sir.
On page 3 of this same document, there's a signature above the line that is titled defendant. Mr. Knuckles, did you also sign this document?
Yes, sir.
I also have another document before me, Mr. Knuckles, that is titled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal. Do
Yes,
you
sir.
recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
At the bottom of this same document, there's a signature above the line that is titled defendant. Did you also sign this document?
Yes, sir.
At the top of this same document, there are 2 boxes that's checked. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
The second box that's checked states that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Knuckles, did you also sign a document on paper that is titled Discovery Certification?
Yes, sir.
Now, Mr. Knuckles, before you signed and initialed all of these documents that I've just mentioned to you, did your attorney, Mr. Matuska, go over these documents with you?
Yes, he did.
And did you read and understand everything in these documents?
No, I didn't, but I understood him.
Okay, now, Mr. Matuska, did you explain everything to your client in these documents?
Yes, sir.
And Mr. Knuckles, so you understood everything
Yes, sir.
that your attorney explained to you in all of these documents?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now, Mr. Now, Mr. Knuckles, is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir. They're gonna be, yeah, to my knowledge, good.
Okay, now, Mr. Knuckles, are you a citizen of the United States?
Yes, sir.
State, I have before me State's Exhibit number 1, the misdemeanor plea admonishment. State, you like to offer State's Exhibit number 1?
Yes, Your Honor. State offer states 1.
And Mr. Matuska, do you have any objections to State's Exhibit 1?
No objections, Your Honor.
Okay, now just let me do this now. Mr. Knuckles,
Yes,
you
sir.
do understand that in State's Exhibit number 1, which is the misdemeanor plea admonishment, that you're entering a plea of guilty to the offense, the Class B misdemeanor offense of criminal trespassing. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And you also understand that that this is a plea bargain agreement
Yes, sir.
and that the court is not bound to follow the punishment recommendation in this plea bargain agreement. However, if the court does not follow the plea bargain agreement, you'll be entitled to withdraw that plea.
Yes, sir.
And you also understand that if the court follows the plea bargain agreement, you, and if you decide to appeal this case, you have to get a permission from the court.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and you stated that you are a citizen of the United States, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, now, this is not deferred adjudication, and this is not deferred, okay. Now, you are waiving, you understand that you have a right to have a trial by jury. However, you're waiving your right to have a trial by jury, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Now, on the next document, trial court certification, defendant's right of appeal, you stating that you understand that you have a right to appeal, however, you're waiving your right to an appeal, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And it's because this is a plea bargain case, you have no right of appeal.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And there's the bottom statement on this document said if you receive a copy of certification, you've also been informed of your rights concerning your appeal. Just did that, including your right to pro se petition for discretionary review. What that basically means that if the court gives you permission to appeal, then your case will go up to the Ninth Court of Appeals, which is right above us on the 3rd floor. And if they deny that appeal, you'll have a right to file what is called a pro se petition for discretionary review, as stated in this document, which means that then your case will go to the Texas Court of Criminal Appeals located in Austin, Texas. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
And you have 30 days in which, if you decide to file an appeal, you'll have 30 days from the day's date to do that. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
And also, if you also acknowledge that if you wish to appeal your case, and if you're entitled to do so, it is your duty to inform the appellate attorney by written communication of any change of address where you're currently living,
Yes, sir.
or if you're in a penal institution. So it's your duty to notify them and inform them of your address. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Now, you understand that if you fail to meet the appellate deadlines, or you fail to inform your attorney of any change in your address, you may lose an opportunity to file a pro se petition for discretionary review. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And I guess on the document that you, the discovery certification, it basically said that you had a right to see the evidence that the state, you had a right to have access, or your attorney had a right to have access to the evidence that the state had in this case. Did you understand that?
Yes, sir.
All right. Now, again, let me do this here. You understand the state's offer.
Mhm.
The state is, now the state, you're offering 13 days Jefferson County Jail, is that correct?
That
Yes,
is
sir.
correct, Your Honor.
And now, Mr. Knuckles,
Yes,
the
sir.
state is offering you 13 days to be served in the Jefferson County Jail. However, you will not have to serve any more time in the Jefferson County Jail for this case, because you've already served 13 days in the Jefferson County Jail. The court cost in this case is $327, but you would not have to pay the $327 court cost, because the time that you spent in jail has already paid it off. Therefore, the court costs will be taxed and retired. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, Mr. Knuckles, do you understand the state's offers?
Yes, sir.
And do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Yes, sir.
And do you accept the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Knuckles, I'll follow the plea bargain agreement that you have entered into with the state. Mr. Knuckles, this will conclude your case. You're going to, if you do not have anything else holding you in jail, you should be getting out of jail today.
Yes, sir.
As stated earlier, Mr. Knuckles, the court is accepting your plea of guilty. The court finding you minutes to stand trial, and the court is finding that your waiver is freely and voluntarily given. And the court finds that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. So, Mr. Knuckles, you could please stand, follow the bailiff, and you have a blessed day.
You too, man.
Next case is Courtney Shello.
Come on, Courtney. Judge, is Jonathan Gloston gonna be a dismissal?
I don't think so, but I'll let you know about that in a minute. After
Thank
do-
you.
All right. Yeah. Jefferson County Court at Law number 2 is back in session in cause number 333-672, case of style of state of Texas versus Courtney D. Shello. Ms. Shello, would you please, is that your full name?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Shello, would you please raise your right hand? Ms. Shello, would you please, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Shello, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Ms. Shello?
I'm okay.
That's good. Ms. Shello, I have before me, well, your attorney, Mr. Matuska, is appearing via Zoom. Mr. Matuska, do you waive a record in Ms. Shello's case?
Yes, sir, I do.
Ms. Shello, I have before me a document that is titled information. This information was filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office, and it alleges that on or about October 10th of 2022, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class A misdemeanor offense of assault. Ms. Shello, do you understand what you've been charged with?
Yes, sir.
And to discharge Ms. Shello, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Guilty?
Now, are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
And are you pleading guilty because you are guilty?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Shello, I have before me a document. Okay, that's titled misdemeanor plea admonishments. Now, Mr. Matuska, on this document, it has the box checked that it's a Class B misdemeanor. Mr. Matuska, do I have your permission to correct that to a Class A misdemeanor?
Yes, sir, Your Honor.
And Ms. Shello, do I also have your permission to correct it to a Class A misdemeanor?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now, Ms. Shello, the punishment range for this offense is just Class A misdemeanor is confinement in jail for a term not to exceed 1 year, a fine not to exceed $4,000 or both such confinement and fine. Do you understand the punishment range for a Class A misdemeanor?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now, Ms. Shello, let me show you this. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
On page 2 of this same document, Ms. Shello, there are a set of initials, CS, that are on a line next to a box that says guilty. Ms. Shello, did you place your initials on this document, CS?
Yes, sir.
On page 3 of the same document, there is a signature above the line that is titled defendant. Ms. Shello, did you also sign this document?
Yes, sir.
Now, Ms. Shello, I have another document here that's titled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal. At the bottom of this now, do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
At the bottom of this same document, there's a signature above the line that is titled defendant. Ms. Shello, did you sign this document?
Yes, sir.
At the top of this same document, there are 2 boxes that's checked. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
The second box that's checked states that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Shello, did you sign a document out there on paper that is titled Discovery Certification?
Yes, sir.
Now, Ms. Shello, before you sign and initial all of these documents that I have just mentioned to you, did your attorney, Mr. Matuska, go over these documents with you?
Yes, sir.
Did you read and understand everything in these documents?
Yes, sir.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Shello, Are you a citizen of the United States?
Yes, sir.
State, I have before me State's Exhibit number 1. State, you like to offer State's 1?
Yes, Your Honor. State offer states one.
Any objections, Mr. Matuska?
No objections, Your Honor.
No objection, State's Exhibit number 1 will be admitted. Mr. Matuska, you've advised in counsel, Ms. Shello, is there any evidence that she is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No evidence, Your Honor.
Ms. Shello, your attorney, Mr. Matuska, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir.
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Shello, I will accept your plea of guilty. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
We do, Your Honor.
And what is that agreement?
Your Honor, in exchange for the defendant's plea of guilty in this case, the state is recommending confinement in the Jefferson County Jail for a period of 13 days, Your Honor. The state is asking that the court give defendant credit for the 13 days previously spent in jail, making this a time-served plea agreement, Your Honor. And lastly, we're asking that the court use the time served to both tax and retire the court costs.
Ms. Shello, the state is offering that you serve 13 days in Jefferson County Jail. However, you will not have to serve any more time in the Jefferson County Jail for this case because you've already served 13 days in Jefferson County Jail. Therefore, you will be given credit for the time that you have already served. The court cost in this case is $327, but you would not have to pay the $327 court cost because the time that you spent in jail has already paid it off. Therefore, the court costs will be taxed and retired. Ms. Shello, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
And do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Yes, sir.
And do you accept the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Shello, I'll follow the plea bargain agreement that you have entered into with the state. Ms. Shello, if you do not have anything else holding you in jail, you should be getting out of jail today. Please knock on the door, follow the bailiff, and you have a blessed day.
Yeah, too. Good. Have a good